Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama
Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसति गौरव हरे
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसति गौरव प्रबंध हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram 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 Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Sanmata. Dandavat Pranam. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining. So, Lavanya, can you please read this?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Sanmata. We are trapped souls in the state of forgetfulness of Krishna, and Krishna is giving you the chance now to re-establish your relationship with him by this chanting process. So take full advantage of it and be happy. Srila Prabhupada's letter, February 14th, 1969. Hare Krishna.
See, Prabhupada's one of the another beautiful quality is he always motivated to his disciples, by writing letters if they are having any questions or any problems or any disturbances, any distressful situations. He's giving always full confidence and positive attitude spreads in their life. This is one of the beautiful letter he's sending to one of his disciples, right? So chanting the holy name of the Lord is to re-establish our connection with Lord and to always remember Krishna. That's ultimately why we are practicing Bhakti Yoga. Always remember Krishna and never forgets him, right? We are in forgetfulness of Krishna. That's where we are suffering. Chanting the holy name of the Lord is going to give the forgetlessness. Always remember Krishna, never forget him. That's what all about. Yeah. Thank you so much. So let us begin with Mangalacharana prayer and we'll pray. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, chapter 4th, Transcendental Appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let me share. Confidential reasons and transcendental appearance. Both. Yeah. So we are at 106th verse, Adilila 4th chapter. Let me read. Radhikara bhava murti prabhura antara sei bhave sukha dukkha utte nirantara. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The heart of Lord Chaitanya is the image of Sri Radhika's emotions. Thus, feelings of pleasure and pain arise constantly therein. Purport. Lord Chaitanya's heart was full of the feelings of Srimati Radharani and his appearance resembled hers. Swarup Damodara, as explained, his attitude as Radha Bhava Murti, the attitude of Radharani. One who engages in sense gratification on the material platform can hardly understand Radha Bhava, but one who is freed from the demands of sense gratification can understand it. Radha Bhava must be understood from the Goswamis. Those who are actually controllers of the senses, from such authorized sources, it is to be known that the attitude of Srimati Radharani is the highest perfection of conjugal love, which is the highest of the 5 transcendental mellows, and it is the complete perfection of love of Krishna. Yes. Yeah, let me complete this. These transcendental affairs can be understood on 2 platforms. One is called elevated and the other is called super elevated. The loving affairs exhibited in Dwaraka are the elevated form. The super elevated position is reached in the manifestations of the pastimes of Vrindavana. The attitude of Lord Chaitanya is certainly super elevated. From the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, an intelligent person engaged in pure devotional service can understand that he always felt separation from Krishna within himself. In that separation, he sometimes felt that he had found Krishna and was enjoying the meeting. The significance of this separation and meeting is very specific. If someone tries to understand the exalted position of Lord Chaitanya without knowing this, he is sure to be misunderstand it. One must first become fully self-realized. Otherwise, one may misidentify the Lord as Nagara or the enjoyer of the damsels of Vraja, thus committing the mistake of rasabhasa or overlapping understanding. Yes, Hare Krishna. Yeah, Mother is, yeah, Deepa Mother, you can start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. In the final portion of his pastimes, Lord Chaitanya was obsessed with the madness of separation from Lord Krishna. He acted in erroneous ways and talked deliriously. Purport. Lord Sri Chaitanya exhibited the highest stage of the feelings of a devotee in separation from the Lord. This exhibition was sublime because he was completely perfect in the feelings of separation. Materialists, however, cannot understand this. Sometimes materialistic scholars think he was diseased or crazy. Their problem is that they always engage in material sense gratification and can never understand the feelings of the devotees and the Lord. Materialists are most abominable in their ideas. They think that they can enjoy directly perceivable gross objects by their senses, and that they can similarly deal with the transcendental features of Lord Chaitanya. but the Lord is understood only in pursuance of the principles laid down by the Goswamis. Headed by Swarup Damodara. Doctrines like those of the Nadia Nagaris, a class of so-called devotees, are never presented by authorized persons like Swarup Damodara or the six Goswamis. The ideas of the Gauranga Nagaris are simply a mental concoction, and they are completely on the mental platform. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes. Samyukta Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just as Radhika went mad at the sight of Uddhava, so Lord Chaitanya was obsessed day and night with the madness of separation. Those under the shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand that his mode of worship of the Supreme Lord Krishna in separation is the real worship of the Lord. When the feelings of separation become very intense, one attains the stage of meeting Sri Krishna. So-called devotees like the Sahajiyas cheaply imagine they are meeting Krishna in Vrindavana. Such thinking may be useful, but actually meeting Krishna is possible through the attitude of separation taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Sandhya Mataji, kindly read.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Might he talked incoherently in grief with his arms around Swarupa Damodara's neck. He spoke out his art in ecstatic inspiration.
Static.
Translation: whenever a particular sentiment arose in his art, Swarupa Damodara satisfied him by singing songs or receiving verses of the same nature. Translation: to analyze these pastimes is not necessary now. Later, I shall describe them in detail. Formally, in Vraja, Lord Krishna displayed three ages, namely childhood, boyhood, and adolescence. His adolescence is especially significant. Parental affection made his childhood fruitful. His boyhood was successful with his friends. In youth, he tasted the essence of rasa, fulfilling his desires in pastimes like the rasa dance with Srimati Radhika and the other gopis. Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes. Yeah, up to purport, continue.
Okay. In his youth, Lord Krishna made all three of his ages and the entire universe successful by his pastimes of amorous love, like the rasas dance.
Yeah, you can stop. You can complete this. Yeah.
Lord Madhusudana enjoyed his youth with pastimes on autumn nights in the midst of joy-like milkmaids. Thus he dispelled all the misfortunes of the world. Purport: this is a verse from the Vishnu Purana 5.13.60. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Yeah. Raju Prabhu, can you please read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Translation: Lord Krishna made Srimati Radharani close her eyes in the shame before her friends by his words relating their amorous activities on the previous night. Then he showed the highest limit of cleverness in drawing picture of dolphins in various playful sports on her breasts. In this way, Lord Hari made his youth successful by performing pastimes in the bushes of Sri Radha and her friends. Purport: this is a verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.1.231 of Sri Rupa Goswami. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We will read that in our Bhakti Shastra course, Nectar of Devotion. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami. Yes. Who else is here? Praveen Prabhu or Aryan Prabhu? You can start.
Translation: O Purnamasi, if Lord Hari had not descended to Mathura with Srimati Radharani, this entire creation and especially Cupid, the demigod of love, would have been useless. This verse is spoken by Sri Vrinda Devi in the Vidagdha Madhava 7.3 of Srila Rupa Goswami.
Read, Prabhu.
Even though Lord Krishna, the abode of all mellows, had previously in this way chewed the essence of the mellows of love, still he was unable to fulfill three desires, although he made efforts to taste them. I shall explain his first desire. Krishna said, I am the primary cause of all rasa.
Amihai Rasera Nidana. Right, okay. Your Nana.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. I am the full spiritual truth and I am made of full joy. But the love of Srimati Radharani drives me mad. I do not know the strength of Radha's love with which she always overwhelms me. The love of Radhika is my teacher and I am her dancing pupil. Her prema makes me dance various noble dances. Oh, my beloved friend Brinda, where are you coming from? Purport. I am coming from the feet of Sri Hari. Where is he? In the forest on the bank of Radha Kund. What is he doing there? He is learning dancing. Who is his dancer master? Your image, Radha, revealing itself in every tree and creepers in every direction, is roaming like a skillful dancer, making him dance behind. This text is from Gobind Lilamrita 8.7 of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. This Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quoting from different texts. Yeah. Right. Yes, we are everyone done, right? Yes, let me read. Whatever pleasure, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai, whatever pleasure I get from tasting my love for Srimati Radharani, she tastes 10 million times more than me by her love. Just as I am the abode of all mutually contradictory characteristics, so Radha's love is always full of similar contradictions. Radha's love is all pervading, leaving no room for expansion, but still it is expanding constantly. There is certainly nothing greater than her love, but her love is devoid of pride. That is the sign of its greatness. Nothing is purer than her love, but its behavior is always perverse and crooked. All glories to Radha's love for Krishna, the enemy of the demon Mura. Although it is all pervading, it tends to increase at every moment. Although it is important, it is devoid of pride. And although it is pure, it is always beset with duplicity. This is a verse from Danakeli Kaumudi of Srila Rupa Goswami. Different texts he has written, one of the prime Goswami of our we worship. Yeah, Adipa Mata again, we read again.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sri Radhika is the highest abode of the love and I am its only object. I taste the bliss to which the object of love is entitled. With the pleasure of Radha, the abode of that love is 10 million times greater. My mind races to taste the pleasure experienced by the abode, but I cannot taste it, even by my best efforts. How may I taste it? Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If sometime I can be the abode of that love, only then may I taste its joy. Vishaya and Ashraya are two very significant words relating to the reciprocation between Krishna and his devotees. The devotee is called the Ashraya and his beloved Krishna is the Vishaya. Different ingredients are involved in the exchange of love between the Ashraya and Vishaya, which are known as Vibhava, Anubhava, Satvika, and Vyabhichari. Vibhava is divided into two categories, Alambana and Uddipana. Alambana may be further divided into Ashraya and Vishaya. In the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna, Radharani is the Ashraya feature and Krishna the Vishaya. The transcendental consciousness of the Lord tells him, I am Krishna and I experience pleasure as the Vishaya. The pleasure enjoyed by Radharani, the Ashraya, is many times greater than the pleasure I feel. Therefore, to feel the pleasure of the Ashraya category, Lord Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Samyukta Mataji.
Thinking in this way, Lord Krishna was curious to taste that love. His eager desire for that love increasingly blazed in his heart. That is one desire. Now please hear of another. Seeing his own beauty, Lord Krishna began to consider. My sweetness is wonderful, infinite and full. No one in the three worlds can find its limit. Only Radhika, by the strength of her love, tastes all the nectar of my sweetness. Although Radhika's love is pure like a mirror, its purity increases at every moment. My sweetness also has no room for expansion, yet it shines before that mirror in newer and newer beauty. There is constant competition between my sweetness and the mirror of Radha's love. They both go on increasing, but neither knows defeat.
Krishna.
My sweetness is always newer and newer. Devotees taste it according to their own respective love.
Yeah, let us give it to some other devotees. Okay,
Okay,
you.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Aryan Prabhu, Praveen Prabhu.
Yes. Translation. If I see my sweetness in a mirror, I am tempted to taste it, but nevertheless I cannot. Translation and purport. If I deliberate on the way to taste it, I find that I hanker for the position of Radhika. Krishna's attractiveness is wonderful and unlimited. No one can know the end of it. Sri Radharani alone can relish such extensiveness from her position in the Ashraya category. The mirror of Srimati Radharani transcendental love is perfectly clear. Yet it appears clearer and clearest in the transcendental method of understanding Krishna. In the mirror of Radharani's heart, the transcendental feature of Krishna appears increasingly new and fresh. In other words, the attraction of Krishna increases in proportion to the understanding of Srimati Radharani. Each tries to supersede the other. Neither wants to be defeated, and increasing the intensity of love. Desiring to understand Radharani's attitude of increasing love, Lord Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. Praveen Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Who manifests an evidence of sweetness greater than mine, which has never been experienced before and which causes wonder to all. Alas, I myself, my friend, bewildered upon seeing this beauty, impotently desired to enjoy it like Srimati Radharani. Purport. The text is from the Lalita Madhva 8.34 of Srila Rupa Goswami. It was spoken by Lord Krishna when he saw the beauty of his own reflection in a jeweled fountain in Dwarka.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you. Raju Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The beauty of Krishna has one natural strength. It thrills the hearts of all men and women, beginning with Lord Krishna himself. Translation. All minds are attracted by the hearing his sweet voice and flute, or by seeing his beauty. Even Lord Krishna himself makes efforts to taste the sweetness. The thirst of one who always drinks the nectar of the sweetness of never satisfied. Rather, the thirst increases constantly. Such a person being unsatisfied begins to blaspheme Lord Brahma, saying that he does not know the art of creating well. It is simply inexperienced. He has not given millions of eyes to see the beauty of Krishna. He has given only 2 eyes and 2 even those eyes blink. How then shall I see the lovely face of Krishna?
మళ్ళీ చదవండి ప్రభు. అవును.
He has not given millions of eyes to see the beauty of Krishna. He has given only 2 eyes, and even those eyes blink. How then shall I see the lovely face of Krishna?
High statement. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Translation: The gopis said, "O Krishna, when you go to the forest during the day, and we do not see your sweet face, which is surrounded by beautiful curling hair. Half a second become as long as an entire age for us. And we consider the Creator who has put high eyelids on the eyes we use for seeing you to be simply a fool." Purport: This verse is spoken by the gopis in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.31.15. Hare Krishna.
Half a second, just like an entire age. In Sixastakam prayer also there is one. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshisham pravurushaitam. That's a thing. Yeah. Who else not read? Sandhya Matai, you want to read? Okay. So, Lavanya, are you there? Lavanya?
Prabhuji, I am in hearing mode.
Okay, sure. Lavanya, want to read? Okay, I'll read again. Translation proposed by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The gopis saw their beloved Krishna at Kurukshetra after a long separation. They secured and embraced him in their hearts through their eyes, and they attained a joy so intense that not even perfect yogis can attain it. The gopis cursed the Creator for creating eyelids that interfered with their vision. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 82 chapter, 39 verse. Yeah, Deepa Mataji, please go ahead.
Translation: There is no consummation for the eyes other than the sight of Krishna. Whoever sees him is most fortunate indeed. The gopis said, "O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaja Nanda are certainly fortunate, as these 2 sons enter the forest surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them. They hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavana. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision." Purport: Like the gopis, one can see Krishna continuously if one is fortunate enough. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that sages whose eyes have been smeared with the ointment of pure love can see the form of Shyamasundara Krishna continuously in the centers of their heart. This text from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.21.7 was sung by the gopis on the advent of the Sharat season.
Yes, Mother, thank you. Anybody remember the verse from Brahma Samhita when you read this statement? This line. Eyes have been smeared with ointment of pure love. Premanjana Achyuta, Bhakti Vilochanaya, Premanjana. That's the ointment of pure love smeared in our eyes. That's the verse in Brahma Samhita. Yeah, Samyukta Mataji.
Prabhuji, this Syam Sundara, right? There is 2 Krishna. One Syam Sundara, he always reside in Vrindavan only. And Krishna went to Mathura.
Mathura, yes.
So this Syam Sundara is a which one, Prabhuji, that Radharani created? There's some story, I forgot that one. Syam Sundara and the actual Krishna, right?
Syam Sundara from, yes.
Because Syam Sundara never leave that the Vrindavan. He always in Vrindavan.
Yes.
So Krishna expanded himself in 2 Krishnas, or what was that story? Do you remember?
Of course, Krishna can expand any number of expansions.
No, but there is a story behind this. Why he did that Syam Sundara in always in Vrindavan and.
So Syam Sundara is always there. I mean, not in physically. I mean, face, but see, this I had read that he never left Vrindavana at any point of time. Okay, that's where I read the expansion of. He can be expanded any number of multifarious, and there is no limit to it. Particular story, I'm not aware, Prabhu.
Yeah, I heard Prabhuji in one lecture. Maharaj told, but I forgot that one. So now the name came, na, Syam Sundaram never left Raja. So then I remember that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes. We'll see. I will find out, Prabhu. Who is going to read? Who is going to read? Mataji, Prabhuji is. We'll read in a couple of verses.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, please.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The women of Madura said, "What austerities must the gopis have performed? With their eyes, they always drink the nectar of the form of Lord Krishna, which is the essence of loveliness and is not to be equaled or surpassed. That loveliness is the only abode of beauty, fame, and opulence. It is self-perfect, ever fresh, and extremely rare." This text from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.44.14 was spoken by the women of Madura when they saw Krishna and Balrama in the arena with King Kamsa's great wrestlers Mushtika and Chanura. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You can read. You can read, Prabhu. Praveen, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Translation. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is unprecedented, and its strength is also unprecedented. Yeah, simply by one's hearing of such beauty, the mind becomes unsteady. Lord Krishna's own beauty attracts Lord Krishna himself, but because he cannot fully enjoy it, his mind remains full of sorrow. This is a description of his second desire. Now please listen as I describe the third. This conclusion of rasa is extremely deep. Only Swarupa Damodara knows much about it. Anyone else who claims to know it must have heard it from him, for he was the most intimate companion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The love of the gopis is called Rudha Bhava. It is pure and spotless. It is not at any time lust. Purport. As already explained, the position of the gopis in their loving dealing with Krishna is transcendental. Their emotion is called Rudha Bhava. Although it is apparently like mundane sex, one should not confuse it with mundane sexual love, for it is pure and unadulterated love of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Praveen, Prabhu, you can read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The pure love of the gopis has become celebrated by the name lust. The dear devotees of the Lord, heard by Sri Uddhava, desired to taste the love. Purport. This is a verse from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.85. Lust and love have different characteristics, just as iron and gold have different natures. One should try to discriminate between sexual love and pure love, for they belong to different categories. With a gulf of differences between them, they are as different from one another as iron is from gold. Hare Krishna.
So which is gold? Love. That's love of God. It is the gold.
Yes.
Yes. Obviously, yes. Raju Prabhu, with this verse we can conclude. Read this, Prabhu.
Translation. The desire to gratify one's own senses in kama, lust, but the desire to please the sense of Lord Krishna in prema, love.
Simple definition, Prabhu. Simple definition. See, read again, Prabhu.
The desire to gratify one's own senses in kama, lust, but the desire to please the senses of Lord Krishna is prema, love.
Yeah.
Purport. The revealed scripture describes pure love as follows. Sarvata Dvamsa Raitam Stepi Satyapi Dvamsa Karane Yat Bhava Bandhanam Saprema Parikirtita Parikirtita. So if there is a simple reason for a if there is a ample reason for a dissolution of a conjugal relationship, and yet such a dissolution does not take place, such a relationship of intimate love is called pure. The gopis were bound to Krishna in such pure love. For them, there was no question of sexual love based on the sense gratification. Their only engagement in life was to see Krishna happy in all respects, regardless of their own personal interest. They dedicated their souls only for the satisfaction of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. There was not the slightest tinge of a sexual love between the gopis and Krishna. The author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita asserts with authority that sexual love is the matter of personal sense enjoyment. All the regulative principles in the Vedas were pertain to desires for the popularity, fatherhood, wealth, and so on are different ways of sense gratification. Acts of sense gratification may be performed under the cover of public welfare, nationalism, religion, altruism, ethical codes, biblical codes, health directives, fruitive action, bashfulness, tolerance, personal comforts, liberation from material bondage, progress, family affection, or fear of social ostracism or legal punishment. But all the categories are different subdivisions of one substance, sense gratification. All such good acts performed basically for one's own sense gratification, for no one can sacrifice his personal interest while discharging this much advertised moral and religious principles. But above all this, a transcendental stage in which one feels himself to be only one eternal servitor of Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead. All acts performed in the sense of servitude are called pure love of God because they are performed for the absolute sense gratification of Krishna. However, any act performed by the purpose of the enjoying its fruits or results is an act of sense gratification. Such actions are visible sometimes in gross and sometimes in subtle forms.
Yes, Prabhu, subtle forms. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Yeah. Yeah. So today also we read some of the qualities of Radharani and different verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, glorifying Radharani and Krishna's experience sweetness from Radharani's Hladini potency, right? We read that's there in Srimad Radharani. Yeah. So anybody have anything to share, or let us conclude? Or yeah, we'll conclude. Praveen Prabhu, I'll let you know. But actually, simple thing, Prabhu. I always remember that, Krishna is the omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. He can do anything. That's where there is the supreme personality of Godhead. So some slight difference there. I'll check and let you know. Okay. Yeah. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha krupa sindhu bhayavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantagoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Reading ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. See you all tomorrow. Have a happy Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, this श्लोका टेस्ट हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है?
छोड़ दो अभी छोड़ दो bro. Nobody is ready.
Okay. Actually, Nasi, we learned 3 times, so if it is not going to happen again, we have to do the same exercise.
you have to forget. You have to practice again, bro. That's no problem, right?
Yeah, there's no problem. At least we are reciting the slokas.
It's okay. Repeatedly practice means whenever you talk to somebody about Krishna, you directly get the verse and speak. Simple.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right. We'll see. I mean, nobody is prepared. We are not getting any dates, Prabhu. Maybe in February, first week or second week.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I'm ending the call.